the Cleveland Browns, the Chicago Bears, even the Dallas Cowboys. Do you know what those teams are? Everyone does. It's the National Football League teams, better known as football. America revolves around football. But do people ever really think where football came from? Football is a pastime cherished by many, but not many really know the rich history that is football. We all have our team, and even if you don't follow sports, you know the names. You can't go anywhere without seeing an NFL logo. Now, people can say they don't follow sports and that they don't care and sports don't mean anything, but that's a lie. Sports mean a lot to a lot of people, and I don't think we take enough time to realize where it came from. Last semester, I had the amazing opportunity to work for the Dallas Cowboys, and they've been around almost as long as any team has. And while working for them, I got to learn their rich history and where they came from. Jerry Jones took a team that was already pre-existing and turned it into a national empire that is now worth $4.25 billion. And you can't tell me that doesn't mean anything. So although you may not follow sports, the NFL means something to people. And people don't really realize how far it has come. Actually, the National Football League is almost 100 years old, as it was established in 1922. But we had football before that. In earlier years, we had what was called the APFC, the American Professional Football Club, a group that built rules and stadiums that shaped today's game. From there, we found the American Professional Football Association, a team with only 14 games, 14 teams, and was very different than what we have now. Finally, in 1922, like I said before, we had the National Football League, or the NFL. And although we had it back then, the NFL says that it took about 40 more years of transforming to get the league structure that we have today. And with that new structure, we get the modern football landscape as we have it now. Currently, there are 32 teams in the NFL that play 16 games a year. There are 17 weeks total, as each team gets one bye week, which means they don't play. And every year, although that structure does not change, a lot does. There are teams constantly relocating, and if you've watched the news at all recently, you can tell that teams are changing all the time. The St. Louis Rams recently went back to LA to become the Los Angeles Rams, and as of recent, there is talk that the Oakland Raiders will be going to Las Vegas to become a Las Vegas franchise team, which would be crazy for the sport of football. That has never been done before. A team in Las Vegas would mean a lot to this league, and Oakland is looking to get rid of their team because of a bad stadium. It only goes to show that money can move people and that this sport is ever evolving. And although it's ever evolving, just because the teams are changing, also the play on the field has been changing too. Although the rule book has been around since 1920, there are obviously flaws in the rules, and those are constantly being changed. As I'm sure you've noticed, there was a movie recently called Concussion starring Will Smith. In that movie, it showed of the problems in the NFL revolving concussions. The NFL has a very bad history of dealing with concussions and its players and their mental health. So recently, there has been a lot of rule change revolving concussions and how players will be treated after they have a concussion. Recent players, such as Cam Newton, have had concussions and dealt with the new protocol, and because of this, we hope to see changes in the overall mental health of players, and because of that, the game will get better. And because of the game getting better, we see things like TV contracts being changed as well. Football is now played on Thursdays, Sundays, and Mondays instead of just Sundays. And don't think that's just because of popularity. It's because the things around football are changing. The reason the Oakland Raiders are moving to Los Angeles, that's because of money. Why we play on Thursday, Sunday, and Monday? That's because of money. But what this game means to us today, we must look forward as to what is coming in the NFL pipeline revolving that money. As I'm sure you've seen, this year in the NFL there have been many more games played in London than ever before. London has become a site where football is evolving to. An overseas expansion of football could lead to a great change in the game, and I think that this would be great for the whole universe of football. It will make the world champion a world champion, and it will bring a new level to this game that has never been seen in the 100 years it's been played. It's mostly been an American pastime, but Americans are getting ready to share this sport with the rest of the world. Now, We hope to see in these next 100 years what has been changed in this past 100 at the forefront of American culture. Teams have moved around, rules have changed, and technology has improved, making the game better than it once was. From here, we can only look to the future of what American football could be with 100 more years of innovation. Football is always influencing society in one way or another, and with an ever-changing society, for better or worse, one can only imagine what will happen to football in the next 100 years.